Shut up and sit down.
Welcome back to Nerd Safari. I'm Simon.
I was Agatha all along.
Ah, you were you?
Mm-hmm.
I see. I recognize
Explains
you
a lot.
now.
Rewatch.
It does explain a lot. And in this scoop, we are going to give you the lowdown on the 14 upcoming Marvel movies. And of course, this right now is Sunday. Falcon and Winter Soldier's finale just wrapped, and Marvel spewed out a load of stuff. So we're going to line up for you the next 14 Marvel Cinematic Universe movies, 4 of which come out in 2021, 5 of which come out in 2022. So we are getting a lot of superhero goodness. We're going to try to make this as quick and succinct as we can. So here is the lowdown.
So first up, we've got Black Widow, which is set to drop July 9th.
Yes!
Originally set to come out last year, but the pandemic put a pause on everything. This was set to kick off the MCU Phase 4, but obviously that was postponed, but we only have until July to wait. So this is a prequel story set between Civil War and Infinity War. And we see Natasha on the run from the US government return to Russia. In this movie, it also looks as if we get to meet Taskmaster, and we meet a potential 3 other Black Widows.
Whoa.
And we also get to see David Harbour as Red Guardian, and I have a sneaking suspicion, even with the incredible talent in this movie, there's a good chance he's going to steal the show.
So next up on September 3rd, we get Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings. And this movie has been a long time coming. There's been a lot of false starts with directors who picked it up and then dropped the franchise, but we're finally getting it. This tells the story of Shang-Chi, who is the son of the Mandarin. The Mandarin who is a head of a clan called the Ten Rings. And the Ten Rings are actually one of the original villainous groups in the MCU. They featured in Iron Man, and they featured in Iron Man 3 under a false Mandarin, but now we get to see the real Mandarin and his son. Now talk about talent. In this you've got Tony Leung playing the Mandarin himself, you've got Awkwafina playing the best friend of Shang-Chi, and you've got Michelle Yeoh, the OG female martial artist.
So much, wow.
Yeah, there is a lot to love about Shang-Chi already.
So on November 5th, we see the drop of the Eternals, which is an ambitious introduction to a new superhero team which could be on par with the Avengers. The Eternals are an immortal alien race, so we could be looking at an exploration of the universe that we kind of got hints at with Guardians of the Galaxy, that kind of thing. The cast looks incredible. We have Angelina Jolie, Kumail Nanjiani, and Richard Madden, and
Salma Hayek, Brian Tyree Henry, and from Game of Thrones, you know nothing, Jon Snow, it's Kit Harington.
Incredible. How much does that excite you?
A lot. So next up, you've got on December 17th, Spider-Man No Way Home, and this is shaping up to be like a live-action Spider-Verse. It looks incredible. They've really taken the multiverse idea to the next level. So you're going to see villains like Alfred Molina's Dr. Octopus, who would have thought, and Jamie Foxx's Electro from 2 different Spider-Verses. And as if that's not enough, we're very likely to see Tom Holland bump into another couple of Peter Parkers, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. My mind is just blown.
I can't even believe they're allowed to do that. That's just too awesome.
Absolutely. But, of course, you've still got all the stuff we love about the MCU Spider-Man. You've got Peter Parker's friends, Ned, and his new girlfriend, MJ. You've got the fact that we just ended Spider-Man Far From Home with Peter Parker being framed for Mysterio's murder and his secret identity being blabbed to the world. So not only are they going to tackle this whole Spider-Verse thing, but they've also got some loose ends to tie up.
Wow. Now, unfortunately, we have to wait almost a year for Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, which is dropping on March 2022. It is directed by Sam Raimi of the original Spider-Man trilogy. Doctor Strange was pivotal in the Infinity War series, and in this movie, it looks like we're going to see him joined by Scarlet Witch. fresh from her stint in WandaVision. Hopefully she's had some therapy so she can calm down a little bit, be using her powers for good. We did see that little bit at the end, so maybe see how she's doing. The story is top secret at the moment, but this could be incredible if we see this Phase 4 introduction really look into the possibilities of the multiverse.
Absolutely. Phase 4 all seems to be about the multiverse, so Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness is our #1 tip to be the big movie in Phase 4.
Just think of the possibilities.
Now, if you loved Thor Ragnarok, which who didn't, you're probably also excited about Thor Love and Thunder, which is coming in May 2022. Now, we already know that we're going to see the return of Jane Foster, and anyone who's a fan of the Thor comics knows that in the comics, Jane Foster becomes worthy, starts to wield Mjolnir, and becomes a version of Thor known as the Mighty Thor. I wonder if we're going to see the same thing in Thor Love and Thunder. Now, of course, if you loved Thor Ragnarok, you're probably also excited to hear that Tessa Thompson, Taika Waititi, and Jeff Goldblum are returning for Thor Love and Thunder. Amazing. But the big shocker was Christian Bale being cast. In his first ever role in the MCU, Batman himself is going to be joining us as Gorr the God Butcher. And I've read the Thor God of Thunder comics where they feature Gorr the God Butcher, and he was nothing to be trifled with. The name is everything you expect. His job is literally to kill deities like Thor, and he does a pretty good job of it. So I am stoked to see Christian Bale as a god-murdering bad guy.
I can't even imagine, but this sounds incredible! Now, Black Panther 2 drops in July 2022, and it is set to be the biggest and most anticipated blockbuster of 2022. And everyone is wondering what direction they might take this movie after we sadly lost Chadwick Boseman last year. Now, Marvel have confirmed that they are not planning to recast T'Challa, so it does make us wonder who might the mantle pass to. We are going to see the return of all the major characters from Black Panther, Infinity War, and the rest of that universe. But maybe who could the mantle be passed to?
Well, my money is on Shuri, T'Challa's younger sister. She was pretty awesome in the last few movies that we've seen her in, so I think she would make a pretty rockin' Black Panther. And the comics kind of lean that way too, so...
She does seem like the most natural choice. However, Marvel have been known to throw us a few curveballs, and they're quite likely to play with that assumption.
Absolutely. Now, in November 2022, we're getting Captain Marvel 2. And the original Captain Marvel was an origin story set in the 1990s where Captain Marvel was really finding herself and learning to use her powers. This is going to be set in present day, so we're expecting a more modern, more powerful Captain Marvel who survived the Infinity Wars and went toe-to-toe with Thanos. Now, Captain Marvel is not alone in the sequel. She's going to be joined by Monica Rambeau, who has spectrum powers that we saw her developing straight out of WandaVision. And what's more, we're also going to be seeing the debut of Kamala Khan, a Pakistani-American superhero who is a huge fan of Captain Marvel and actually learns later that she's an Inhuman who develops superhuman powers and becomes Miss Marvel. The big thing I'm wondering is, will this sequel explain what happens at the end of WandaVision with Nick Fury and the Skrulls? Who knows, but I'm so excited to see where they go with Captain Marvel 2.
Now, we don't have a date for the next movie, but it looks like it's gonna come out sometime in 2022. We have Ant-Man and the Wasp, with possibly the worst title of any MCU movie so far, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. So it looks like we're going to see a return of the jokes that everything nowadays needs to have some kind of quantum element in it, but Quantumania? I'm not sold. So obviously this movie sees the return of Paul Rudd, Evangeline Lilly, Michael Douglas, and Michelle Pfeiffer. Now we found his mom. Yay! They're coming back, so that's going to be good fun. The biggest surprise was the casting of Jonathan Majors as Kang the Conqueror, and if you know the comics, this is going to be a pretty fun character to play with. Now, Kang was a time-traveling alien who was known for traveling between ancient Egypt, current times, and the 31st century, so who knows what's going to go on with that, but he sounds like a fun character to play with.
Absolutely. So we've already had multiverses, now we're going to have time travel as well? My mind is blown by where we're going to see this MCU Phase 4 going. So in 2023 at some point we're going to see Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. It's going to be 6 years after Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. It was actually supposed to be releasing in 2020, but they had to delay it tons because of the same thing that delayed everything else. However, all we know about this at the moment is that it's going to be set after Avengers Endgame. However, we don't know if it's going to be before or after or some kind of an overlap with Thor: Love and Thunder, which is going to feature characters from Guardians of the Galaxy. So I'm expecting there to be a lot of storylines continuing between Thor: Love and Thunder and Guardians Volume 3. But if you can't wait until 2023 to get your Guardians of the Galaxy fix, next year it's been announced that there will be a Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special. And just check out the tirade of Twitter jokes between Mark Hamill and the Guardians of the Galaxy team. That is something to behold.
Now, we don't yet have a date for this next movie, but we did hear that Mahershala Ali called Marvel and basically said, make a Blade movie, I'm gonna be in it, and of course they couldn't say no to that. Now, this should be the first MCU movie to deal with vampires, but obviously from Sony we also have the Morbius movie, so we could have another resurgence of the vampire craze from a few years ago, but hopefully no Twilight, no sparkly vampires.
Yes, please.
Now, we're not sure if this is going to be part of Phase 4 or could well be in the first few movies of Phase 5 of the MCU.
Yeah, so we've got multiverses, we've got time traveling, and now we've got vampires?
Will the fun never end?
Absolutely. Now, we also don't have a date for the upcoming Fantastic Four movie, and of course 20th Century Fox has had 2 attempts to create a series of Fantastic Four movies. The first one was okay, the second one was kind of disappointing and a bit of a flop, but this will be the first time we see the MCU take on the Fantastic Four. One good bit of news is that the director of the MCU's Spider-Man trilogy, John Watts, is also going to be taking on their Fantastic Four movies. So if you like the Spider-Man movies in the MCU, I'm guessing you'll probably be pleasantly surprised by the Fantastic Four movie.
Very good start.
Yeah, and we don't know when this is going to release, but we think it's going to be part of Phase 4. Marvel announced Fantastic Four during their Phase 4 announcements, in which case we will probably be seeing this movie in 2023. And when you consider that we're getting Kang the Conqueror in Phase 4, who was traditionally a villain of the Fantastic Four, that makes a lot of sense.
Now, we have also had Deadpool 3 confirmed, which I am so excited about. To be honest, they could make a Deadpool 12 and I'm going to be just as excited as I was when we saw Deadpool 1.
But this will be the first time we ever see Deadpool in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Oh
Does
my goodness.
Does he get dragged in through a multiverse? Is there some weird time traveling that sees him there? Does he bring other characters from the Deadpool universe to the MCU? Who knows?
The possibilities truly are exciting when you think about the people that he could be interacting with in this movie, and Ryan Reynolds really knows how to play with any kind of possibilities he's given, so this is going to be a fun one. And it will still be R-rated despite being under the Disney umbrella, and really, with the amount of runway they've got, the worlds that they are building with the movies that are leading up to this could go anywhere.
Yes. So last but absolutely not least, as soon as Falcon and Winter Soldier's finale ended, Marvel exploded some news about Captain America 4, which has now been confirmed. There's no date yet, but they have confirmed that Sam Wilson will be returning as Captain America, which is just, awesome.
Really incredible.
So you have to wonder, in this movie, will he be firmly set up as Captain America? Does he still have some ground to win to convince people that he's the real Captain America? Will the Power Broker be back again? Is that going to be the main villain? This movie hasn't even been written yet, so there's still a long way to wait for this one, but I'm super excited. And then, on top of those 14 confirmed movies, there's talk of Chris Evans coming back, not in Captain America 4, but for some other Captain America project with the MCU. There were the Netflix stars like Charlie Cox, Daredevil, and Kristen Ritter, Jessica Jones, who have been confirmed as coming back to the Marvel Universe, but maybe not having the same backstories that they did on Netflix. So that's kind of intriguing. So lots and lots of rumors about characters coming in and out and casting, but That is what we know that is confirmed from Marvel right now. There you go, 14 Marvel movies upcoming in about 14 minutes, I guess. So we hope that's been informative to you. If you enjoyed that, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And we will see you next time on The Nerd Safari.
Peace out, nerds. Bye.
Shut up and sit down.